I says, what better way than hop on with the community and have a chat. If you're new to the channel, we're Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company. We've been helping individuals build Bitcoin pensions for over 5 years now. We've also been helping companies to implement the strategy Bitcoin corporate plan for over 5 years, and all of the businesses that we've helped this to, well, you know how MicroStrategy has performed if you follow stock prices. It's been one of the highest performers for the last 5 years, and that's likely to continue for the next 5. So if you need help with that, check out Bitcoin With Dinny. Beware of scams on the internet. People impersonate me all the time. The only way to work with me is through my website, bitcoinwithdinny.com. So in 2020, when I used to do Bitcoin basics workshops, you know, we're talking through COVID times, everyone was locked at home, and I was trying to explain Bitcoin to people in a really simple way, so they could understand it. Because if you can understand it, the first step in owning it is to understand it a little bit. And unfortunately with Bitcoin, there's so many ways it goes wrong, and there's so many things we don't instinctively understand, and traditional finance isn't going to teach us anything about it because they don't have a clue about it, and they're not used to an asset with the volatility of Bitcoin, and that scares them. But as I would say to people, like, Bitcoin has volatility to the upside. Bitcoin's volatility is how our clients are retiring early using the damn thing. So learn to love the volatility, learn to surf the waves, don't fear the waves. Oh, by the way, actually, I haven't done a video in ages, so the algorithm will probably punish me. Do me a favor and hit the like button, or even better, copy the link and share this in a group if you like the information. Try and get me going again. I'm on a push now for the winter. I want to get more content out to you guys. So when I was doing these early workshops, the way I was explaining to people is, now everyone wants to know, when's the top in Bitcoin, when's the bottom, when's it going to crash, is it going to crash? And my answer was always, of course it'll crash. Bitcoin will always crash. But I'll explain to you why, and why the crashes are the best thing that ever happens to it. And the earlier you can get involved in Bitcoin and go through these crashes, the sooner you'll retire early. And I'm going to explain that to you now so you can understand where we are now in 2025 and where we go. And I'm just sharing my knowledge and my experience. None of this is financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. How you know you've got a good financial advisor is if they've been hopping your phone over for the last 12 months saying, I'm really sorry, we missed this Bitcoin thing. I don't know how I was asleep on it, but I've figured out how you can get it personally. I've figured out how to get it into your pension, and I know you've got a company, so I've got the on-ramps for a company corporate strategy, and we've all the custody solved. But I don't think anyone's getting those phone calls, so maybe you need to get a better financial advisor. Anyway, I digress. So with Bitcoin crashing, it has to change hands, basically, because the point of Bitcoin isn't to hold. The point of money isn't to have money. The point of money is what the money gets you, goods and services. Or the way I like to explain to people, money buys you time. Initially, you have to give your time for money, but if you learn how money works and you become smart and you educate yourself, you are able to buy back your time. So you give your time for money initially, and then when you're smart and you learn how the game works, you use money to get more time, because time is the most important asset. Bitcoin isn't an important asset compared to time, nor are euros. Time, if you're only got 1 day to live, all the money in the world isn't going to change a damn thing. You'd rather another day. So time is the asset, and we use money to buy our time. Look at this big gang of gimps. So everyone's going to spend their Bitcoin eventually. That's what it's for. Now, whether you leverage it or spend it or sell it or borrow against it or earn yield off it, but somehow you're going to turn that Bitcoin into real world goods and services, or get the ability to buy back your time. So this has to happen. Now, I always explain to people that it's a good thing when Bitcoin crashes and big whales come out and they sell, you know, 1,000 Bitcoins, or they sell 5,000 Bitcoins and the price crashes. That's a good thing, because one entity owned 5,000 Bitcoins and they sell them into the market, and because the price has increased, now it's not one entity owning 5,000, it could be 5,000 entities owning one Bitcoin. All right, so that what it is, brings Bitcoin's floor price up, because this is a new hodler base with a new cost basis, and they will hodl until their investment asset rise enough that it can fulfill their needs, you know, following their plan, their financial plan that they made when they made the investment decision. So it's a good thing. Now that Bitcoin has risen so significantly, we've seen 80,000 Bitcoin hit the market this year, and the price basically burped. Whereas in 2020, that would have caused a massive collapse in Bitcoin's price and sent us deep into a bear market. But the fact that doesn't happen anymore is amazing. The fact that early investors in Bitcoin who took all the risk, and we all go, oh, I wish I bought Bitcoin early, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Don't worry, I have that story as well. I dismissed it, I ignored it for too long, and we all get Bitcoin at the price we deserve, is the saying, I suppose. But now that Bitcoin is large enough, I heard Jordi Visser, really good guy to follow, chatting about this, and he framed it like pre-IPO. Bitcoin is just getting ready for its IPO. Okay, it's initial public offering. It's like when a company is going public. So everything that happens pre-IPO is all private markets, it's all venture investing, it's all high-risk stuff. Okay, when Amazon price, when it IPO'd, was $18. It's since gone up 13x, or I don't know what it is, the price is in the hundreds now. Okay, I think Facebook's IPO was $38, it's now in the hundreds. So the fact that Bitcoin is maturing, the fact that when big OG whales who own thousands of coins dump them on the market, that institutions just gobble them up and the price farts downwards a little bit, when in 2020 or 2021 that would have sent us into a deep bear market. Like, more coins are hitting the market than the whole FTX collapse, and in 2022 that caused Bitcoin to have the biggest crash in its history, the worst bear market. And here we are in 2025, okay, 3 years later, and more coins hit the market when a whale dumps and the market gobbles them up. And what that means is, rather than that one whale owning 80,000 Bitcoin, now I don't know how many thousand people are after buying up that collateral. We've got ETFs buying Bitcoin every single day, we've institutions buying, we've corporations buying, and we've individuals buying and stacking sats. So it's, what that's doing is, it's decentralizing the ownership of Bitcoin, which gives it more robustness, and it's also raising the floor price so it can never crash lower than previous floor. The floor price is always going up with Bitcoin, if that makes sense. So this is a beautiful thing. I really liked him using the analogy of the IPO. And what it means is, if Bitcoin hasn't even had its IPO yet, when it IPOs, that means institutions can get in. You know, the risk is effectively gone out of the asset. Not fully gone out, but it's hit public markets. It's gone out of private markets where you have to be venture, or you have to already be worth 7 figures and earning 200 grand a year, you know, to get into private market deals. You have to already be rich. Normal people can't get access to them, okay? So think of all the pensions, think of all the insurance companies, and think of all the normal people. When something goes public, they can own it, all right? So the fact that Bitcoin has gotten through its risky early stage, now it's institutionalized, and it's just about going through its IPO stage. And what that means is, as it's IPOing, when this happens to a traditional company, all the early stage venture investors, okay, the early stage investors, now there's enough liquidity in the market, it's large enough that they can actually sell large dumps of their shares and not crash the share price. So the fact that we're seeing old OG whales exiting the Bitcoin price, exiting Bitcoin, means that this is a good thing for Bitcoin. It means that the asset has matured. It means that the asset has de-risked, and it also means that there's a hell of a lot of upside ahead of it. As I said, when Amazon IPO'd at $18. Imagine being able to buy Amazon stocks for $18, how well you've done. And yet today people will say, oh, I miss Bitcoin, I'm too late to Bitcoin, and they just can't see the wood for the trees. They just don't understand where Bitcoin's going. They just don't understand how Bitcoin's being built into our new financial system. And so yes, it's boring, and that's because anytime the price tries to get a little bit of upside, a big whale dumps onto the market. And it's not a dump, but they have full right to do that. They took risk early on. It's absolutely in their right, and they should do that. They should use that Bitcoin to better their life and, you know, do good things in the world with that money. So it's a beautiful thing. So what means is, the price is going to bore you to tears, and it's going to bore you all the way to 1 million, I think. Do we have our normal traditional cycle? I don't know. I'm like, until we know we don't, then we know we don't. I still think I know we're gonna have crashes, I know we're gonna have corrections, but this market has absolutely changed since 2020, when I was making videos, and the slightest little whale dump, a mini whale dumping 5,000 Bitcoins. But you know what I mean, some whales are sitting on 50,000 Bitcoins, but 5,000 Bitcoins hitting the market would absolutely wreck Bitcoin's price. Now the market just absorbs them like it's nothing. This is brilliant for the assets. It's brilliant for you if you're building your pension. I hope you've got the foresight and understanding how early you are. If we are around the IPO stage of Bitcoin in 15, people absolutely dream of being able to get into Bitcoin pre-IPO. So congratulations if you're here. Keep learning. If you don't quite understand everything I'm saying, use AI, guys. I'm using AI constantly. I'm trying to teach all my guys in my Retire Early Club, which is basically my school. I have 6 courses and a community where we meet every week, and I teach people how to retire early, all the steps I've done. It doesn't involve getting lucky on Bitcoin or selling Bitcoin or trading Bitcoin or any of these silly things. It just involves using traditional investing principles, and that's it. Dinny's 4 golden rules. If you don't break Dinny's 4 golden rules, it's only a question of time until you retire. But what I've been saying to them, guys, is use AI. So if you don't understand everything I'm saying, get it into AI. Just explain to you like your 5-year-old or 6-year-old or whatever it takes, so that you can understand what I'm saying, and use it in all your videos and use it in your hosts. It's going to disrupt absolutely everything. I'll make some videos on that shortly. Have a super day, guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button. It'd be a massive favor. Try and pump the algorithm, get me going again. I haven't done a video in God knows how many months, but it's good to see you. I'm just on the way to the gym now. Get a little workout in. Hope you have a super day. Sun's out, guns out, and Dinny out.